evening. Here we are at Fireside Chat again. I'm Suzanne Susanna. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we have no fire for the chat. We're just sitting in front of a very cool fireplace because it's really warm here in Connecticut today. Almost 90 degrees and absolutely gorgeous. Feels like summer. You just want to go out and goof off. And Ollie's a little warm. I haven't turned my air on yet because I just love having windows open and hearing the birds and the outdoor noises and a little breeze. So if it doesn't stay hot too long, I'll probably wait until the next round of warm weather. I think it's supposed to cool off a little in a few days, but we're all just enjoying it so much. And when we went for a walk a couple days ago, it was just packed. We walked by the riverfront park and there was just people everywhere and kids and dogs, and it's just so exciting to see people out having a good time again. And so it's super special, and who knows how long it will last. Maybe it will last. We've had some chilly days even in May through the years, so we shall see. But we had I was a little embarrassed experience this week. I went over to visit my friend, and we were sitting on a sofa chatting, and she was, pardon me, it's all these blossoms. They catch in my throat a little bit. She was just having a little bite to eat, and we were chatting, and then she put her plate down on like a coffee table level table while she did something on her phone just to be hands-free. And Ollie had been outside with her husband, who's just one of his favorite people on the planet. He follows him around everywhere. And he came in, and before either of us could notice, he licked her food. And I was so embarrassed because guide dogs are supposed to not do that ever. And but when he's off leash and just being a regular dog, he has a little mischief in him too. He's not perfect, right, buddy? Mm-hmm. Your mama was embarrassed. You ate my friend's food. So anyway, we did have a good laugh over it. It was pretty funny, and I just thought I'd share because guide dogs are they're still normal dogs, and they do dog things. And a friend of mine saw several Fidelco dogs being trained in Hartford today, and that's very interesting. It's a very interesting process. They're raised with a puppy raising family, and that family teaches them manners and crossing streets and going on public transit and how to go in a restaurant and be a gentleman or a lady, and all the sociabilities for a dog that's going to be out in public all the time. So they're taught a lot by their puppy raising family, and it is such a gift. The people who do this work are giving such an amazing gift to the people who are going to receive that dog. The dog is loved, the dog is socialized, the dog is taught all their manners, and then when they're about 1.5 years old, they go into the actual guide dog training. And so there were a couple of shepherds and a couple of another breed. My friend wasn't sure, but they were being trained in Hartford, and it's just such a joy for me to think about. Only about half of the dogs that go into guide dog training actually pass guide dog training, and they then very often stay with their puppy raising family or go to be someone's pet, or sometimes they are redirected into another type of service dog, because there are many types of service dogs. The guiding a blind person it's a really big job, and it's just too hard for some dogs. There's a part of that if they can't get even one little part, they can't actually be a guide dog. When I applied to Freedom Guide Dog School for a guide dog, I was supposed to get a Barbet, which is a French water dog, and it would kind of be a black version of him. It would look a little bit like him. They're curly, and the whole litter of Barbets failed guide dog school because they didn't have confidence. Wonderful dogs, no doubt, but they didn't have confidence. And I know of a friend who had a guide dog as a pet from another guide dog school because he couldn't do stairs. He just wasn't able to take a person up and down stairs. So there's so much that goes into it, and it's just an amazing experience. But I wanted to share with you Ollie's little bit of mischief, licking my friend's dinner. And the other thing I wanted to mention now that it's hot is there are water bowls placed around in various places for dogs, and this is very well meaning. It's actually a very lovely thing, but if they're not kept clean, it's better to just avoid them and bring your own fresh water. When I go out with Ollie for any length of time, I bring a bowl and I just grab one of my water bottles and fill it with water, and always have fresh water for him in the hot weather. So we want to be drinking more ourselves so we stay hydrated, and we want to bring water for our loving pets and keep them safe, keep them healthy. Yucky things can get into water bowls, just sitting around in the heat, and bug larvae, and you just never know. And then our pets shouldn't really drink electrolytes like we drink. It's so good for us, it's not really good for them. And we don't want to give them anything that's flavored. A lot of the sweeteners and flavors that go into things that we enjoy are really dangerous for dogs. The sweeteners that end in OL, erythritol and sorbitol, all those sweeteners are quite dangerous for dogs. And it's questionable whether they're good for us or not either. They agree with some people, they don't with others. I kind of stay away from them, but especially don't give beverages with anything like that to your dog. So I have an appointment today. I'm going to run, but thank you so much for being here with us today and hearing about Ollie's little mischief. And I'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Stay cool.